Hey, so we're going to be solving proportions by cross multiplying. Now you could solve just like normal, but for our purpose here for solving proportions, we're going to specifically go ahead and cross multiply. So let's just get right to it. Here we have x over 2 equals 3 over 12. Here I can cross multiply this. I'll get 12x equals 2 times 3, which would be 6. From there, I just need to divide 12 both sides. That's going to give me x equals 6 over 12, which could simplify to 1/2. Let's do another. 5 over x equals 2 over 10. Since we have a proportion, let's go ahead and cross multiply. That'll give us 2x equals 50. We can go ahead and divide each side by 2. That's going to leave us with x equals 25. Here we have 5 over 7 equals 10 over x. Let's go ahead and cross multiply. That'll give us 5x equals 7 times 10 is 70. We can divide both sides by 5. And if we divide 70 by 5, we're going to get x equals 14. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Now let's see if we could set up proportions to represent real-life scenarios. Then we're going to solve them. In this case, we have 1 jar of ginger costs $2. How many jars can you buy for $4? Well, you might say, Mr. Zonker, that is easy. I could buy 2 jars of ginger, of course. But let's go ahead and practice setting up proportions. Now in this scenario, we have 2 different things that are being compared. The amount of jars and the cost. So here I put a ratio with my amount for my cost. Now in our first scenario, we know 1 jar costs $2. So I'm going to set up 1 jar costs $2. My other ratio, I want to keep my same specifications, my amount on top and my cost on the bottom. How many jars can we buy? That's an unknown. So I'm going to go ahead and put x here. And the clue for your x is because that's what it's asking us for. How many can we buy for $4? So I'm going to put my cost for that right down there. Amount over cost. I set up my 2 situations. Now we can go ahead and cross multiply. That's going to be 4 equals 2x. We could divide each side by 2. That's going to give us an answer of x equals 2 jars, which is what we predicted. So perfect. We could see that our proportion worked. Let's try another. Ming was planning a trip to Western Samoa. Before going, she did some research and learned that the exchange rate is 6 tala for $2. Tala is the currency of Western Samoa. How many tala would she get if she exchanged $6? All right, first, let's set up ratios dependent on what 2 things we're comparing. And we can see up here that we're comparing the tala with the dollar. So here I set up a ratio, tala with the dollar. So what do we know? We know that she saw the exchange rate was 6 tala for $2. So I'm going to set up my first ratio as 6 over 2. We're going to set that equal to how many tala, so we know that's our x, would she get if she exchanged $6? So I'll put that over 6. Now we've got our proportion. Let's go ahead and cross multiply. That'll be 36 equals 2x. We could divide each side by 2. And we're going to get an answer of x equals 18. So if she spent $6, she would get 18 tala in return. Alright, for those of you that are wondering, why do I need to use proportions? These are so easy I could do them in my head. Alright, let's try one that's a little more difficult. Mary reduced the size of a painting to a width of 3.3 inches. What is the new height if it was originally 32.5 inches tall and 42.9 inches wide? First thing I notice is the 2 things we're comparing is the height and the width. So I set up my ratio width over height. Now let's see what information we have. Well, looking up here, we want to know that they reduced it to a width of 3.3 inches. So I'm going to write 3.3 inches is the reduced width. What is the new height? Okay, there's my question right there. What is the new height? What is the reduced height? I don't know. That's what they're asking. So let's go ahead and put an x right there. That's going to be equal to the original, which was 32.5 inches tall. Now careful, that's our height. So we're going to put 32.5 in the bottom of our second fraction because we have to keep it consistent with the ratio that we set up over here. And it's 42.9 inches wide. That will go in the numerator because that represents my width. Next, let's go ahead and cross multiply. We'll get 3.3 times 32.5, which equals 107.25, and that's going to equal 42.9 times x, which is just going to be 42.9x. Okay, good luck doing this in your head. I think I'm going to go ahead and have to write this out. So I'll divide both sides by 42.9, divide this side by 42.9, those are going to cancel out, and this is going to give me an answer of x equals, and I'd have to do 107.25 divided by 42.9, and that'll give me an answer of 2.5 inches. So we know our new height, based on the reduced size, is going to be 2.5 inches.